Hello, my name's Robert Adams, and I just want to run through with you a little short tutorial to get really the best out of this CD. Now I'm going to start off with CD1 here, the roses, and just click on, and I'll take this image as an example. As you're probably aware, we've got a range of different sizes here. There are A4 and there are A5 and there are A6. Let me click onto the A5. Now most of the time we'll have printers that don't actually print edge to edge, so it will leave a slight white line. Now I've designed this to allow for that, what I call a little bit of bleed, and you can then just trim that down if you want to, and then this will sit pretty well perfectly on the page. If you do have a printer that prints edge to edge and you set that setting, make sure that you keep it for the decoupage as well, otherwise they'll be out of scale with the rest of the imagery there. And again, just to remind you that if you don't use the background, all of these actually do come with the image complete, as it were, without the background as well. Now you can create these, as I said, as decoupage, and if we go below here, we've got the stackopage. Now for the A5 one, I've created this as a cover for you to use, so that you can actually, that's text editable, and then you can use that to create the CD with as well for the stackopage elements, which you've got part 1, part 2, and then part 3 in here as well, so you can build that up. And we can then work that way. Now if you're working with the A5, use the decoupage main image here, and then come back and then use the A6 one here to build up the rest of the images. So those will then nestle. There should be 5 in total. So just to clarify, we'd use the main image here and then build up with our stacks over on this part here. Of course, if you're doing the stackopage, what you need to do with the text is simply highlight this and then hit the delete key, and that will put the backspace there. That will take out the text, and then you can print that without it on there, because it's not really going to show up for you. And it's just worth noting then, this is the way to use these. Again, with the A4 cards, you get the main image here and the various elements for the decoupage, and this first one builds up as our main image for the decoupage and the stackopage. So by that, if we come to here, you'll notice this is our first layer of the stackopage, and then we've got layers 3, 4 and 5. If I just click onto here, and also in this particular one they come as a square card. I'll touch on that in a moment. So just to say, the first one you're going to print off is here, and then go down to the stackopage for the other elements. And with the cards as well, that we also have, if I can come back here, our square cards. And again, what you can do is just build up with this here. That now has its own text editable link on it if you want to use it, and then we've got the additional elements sitting here as well on the CD. So all of these will then enable you to make up the card as and when you need it from there. Okay, and so the same with the A5, we'd use the main image as we've spoken. So that's how you would work with this. Remember, this is just a serving suggestion with the decoupage, that you don't have to use all of these elements, that you can decide which ones that you want to work with. You may only want to put a couple of layers on and then just build up the roses at the front, or just have it with 1 or 2 layers on there. What I've given you is absolutely everything in the kitchen sink here. Don't feel that you have to use it all. It's just there if you want it. So that's how we would use the main images here, and how that will all work together. Now if I can just show you briefly on disk 2 with a couple of things that we need to look at here with our inserts. If I just click onto the A5 one here, let's click at this one at random. Now what we can do is highlight the text here and type in. Now if you use Control E on your keyboard, that will enable you to come up with a little set of menus that allows you to change the size and the color of your text as well. But if so, Control E, that'll bring up a little sub menu, and then as you click onto here, as I said, that gives you the opportunity to change the style and size. Now also, just to show you, if we come back to the verses if I just click onto that and highlight one of the verses here, so we click over, highlight, right hand button, copy, return. Just going to come back into here. Okay, and click onto this one, click onto the text, and now go Control V, which is the paste. We get the text coming up here. Now you'll notice that it's going to sit towards the top, and that's because actually what I've done is I've padded out a load of space below. So if I click here and then hit my backspace or return key, you'll see I'm pulling out all of that space, and this is beginning to drop down. So if you want to center it lower down, that's the way to do it. And then if we highlight the text, and with our Control E, we can actually then change the size and the color of the text on here, and that will give you the opportunity to work on that and just make it into different styles. So that's the best way to use the text here, and I would recommend then that you just take out some of the back spacing if you need to down here, and then that allows you to work with the text that we'll find here. On the help menu, there's a little section which shows you about Control E and how to bring the text up, so that's worth looking at as well. Anyway, I hope this just gives you a sort of brief overview of some of the elements on the CD that I think are worth just taking a few seconds to just familiarize yourself with and get used to working with. Now, of course, with the text, you can actually use other text from other areas, and again just copy and paste it into these text editable areas if you want to, and then you can change the size and the color. Okay, I hope that's of some help to you, and enjoy the CD-ROM.